So welcome back to another video. And as you can see, I'm out early today. It's bang on 5 AM and I've come out before work to do a bit of fishing for bass. Now I'm going to keep this very short because I want to get fishing straight away. I'm a little late on the tide today, so yeah, I want to get a lure in the water and see if we can locate any bass this morning. I'm going to be using some Samson lures, mainly the newer lure that they've just released, the Samson Shad. At the moment I've got the 25 gram version clipped on, but I've got a couple of other ones with me as well. However, I'm going to start with that, throw it out and just vary up the retrieves and see if we can find a fish. So without further ado, let's get to it. Well, it's very still today. Just got a light breeze, and I'll start by unraveling the line around my rod. But yeah, just got a light breeze today, very still, and I'm a little late in the tide, so we're just gonna have to see if we can find any today. Now I'll talk a little bit about the lures in a second. At the moment, chucking out the 25 gram version. Now since that tide's a lot lower than I actually expected it to be, got a lot of exposed weed in close, so it can be a bit of a pain bringing the lure in just in front, but hopefully it's not going to cause too much issues. Well, I'm into a very small fish here. It's nothing big whatsoever, but it is still a fish. On the third cast, I've just got to get it round these rocks, which I don't quite know what I'm going to do. Getting through that weed. It is a bass, and it's the first bass on the new Samson Shad for me. It is well, he's putting up a good scrap, but it is a very small fish, but nonetheless it is a fish. And there we go, one miniature bass on the new Samson Shad. So there we are. Definitely ain't going to break any records, that one. But third cast with the new Shad, and we're into a little tiny basil. So there we go, that's the lure there, 25 gram version. And we're getting into a little bass. Let's get him back. Now that's the good thing with these lures. This spot I'm fishing, it holds a lot of juvenile fish, and I don't just mean bass, I mean a lot of varieties of juvenile fish. Now you will get the odd big one around here, however, through my experience of fishing it, especially at these states of tide, there are a lot of smaller fish. Now with these lures, this is 25 grams, so I can cast this really far, but obviously with it being just a little tiny lure, if there are small fish about, you're going to still connect to them. So
Very versatile. Samson lures also make a lure called the tweak bait, which comes in smaller sizes as well. And I must say, even the 10 gram versions, which I've got a 10 gram version of this with me today, so I might chuck it out later, they cast like a 20 gram lure. They absolutely fly through the sky. For the retrieve, casting out, and that lure's going to sink straight away. It's not a floating surface lure. And then I'll just give it a steady wind like that and just gently tap the rod tip. And I know that just about 6 inches under the water, that lure is zigzagging, just like it would be if you were walking the dog on the surface of the water. It's doing the exact same action, but about 6 inches underneath. Just have to be careful of these weeds and rock. Just got to really skim it over those rocks pretty quickly when I get it close in. But yeah, you can really vary up the retrieves. You can let it sink and sort of just jolt it through the water. It's really quite a versatile lure. But if you are fishing over rough, shallow ground, they do sink fairly quickly, so it's just something to bear in mind. But you could give it the whole jolting motion like that. It's going to sink a little on the paws. But like anything, it's just worth playing around with. Get it back on the surface and just see what works on the day, really. Obviously, if you're fishing over deeper water, you might want to fish it a lot deeper in the water column. Well, I had a bass follow that all the way in. Just in front of me there's a load of bootlace weeds sticking up. And about an inch before that lure hit the weed, that bass absolutely went for it. Now what I might have to do is get onto these rocks. It's going to be a lot better and make my life a lot easier to land a fish. There's definitely bass here. Well, this is a lot better. I'm in a good place now. Let's see if we can hook another fish. That fish literally took a big swell for the lure right down here. Casts so easily, this lure. Absolutely flies out. I know we don't have any wind today, but certainly travels some. Yep, there we go. Ooh! Be a better fish. Could be a better fish, or it could just be going a bit in the tide. I need to get it up to the surface because I'm not quite sure how many rocks are right in front of me. He's coasting. Bigger than the last, but still small. But what fun this is turning out to be. Well, it's a lot bigger than the last. No monster, but another bass falls to the Samson lure. Beautiful. So a better stamp of fish this time. That hook's come out nice and easy. Oh no, my brain's getting caught in the rocks.
there we have it. Works just under the surface of the water. And we have one very lively bass. And that's a lot nicer size, that. Obviously no monster, but still a beautiful bass. Absolutely buzzing. Oh, it's kicking straight away. It's an angry one, that. So a good start so far this morning. 2 fish in the first probably 10 or dozen casts. So I'm going to stick to doing what I was doing, not working the lure on top of the water, just a few inches below it. And then as I bring it closer in, I'll start winding a little bit quicker, which brings the lure up to the top onto the surface. Just because of all that weed that's right in front of me. Whoa, there's another one. That was a good take. They seem to be in a certain patch out there. This one's smaller and it's swimming this direction. You get great takes on these because it's not like your average surface lure where you see a big swell. It's all happening under the water, so you never know when you're going to get smashed. It's just a small one again. He seems to have given up the fight, this one. Oh, he's just spat the hook. Oh well. He may have been foul hooked. Got a bit of him left on the hook there. But that's fine with me. Saves releasing him. And let's get it straight back out into that patch. Got to be a few of them out there. I'm on again. Just had to have a few casts scanning around then because the fish had moved off that hot spot. So I've picked this one up in a different area. Again, it's just small. It's what I expect, but it's also what I come for. Just pure fun, catching bass, trying out a new lure. This one on there. Oh, get ready. There we are. So I had to scan around and try and find them again. Come into another small bass there. Hooked nicely. Just pops out like that. But what I will say is the hooks on these lures are super sharp. And there we have another little basil. Excellent stuff. Well, look at that. What more could you ask for? It's an absolutely glorious morning. Catching a few fish. It's worth the 4 AM alarm just to get out and see the world at this time of day. But anyway, let's see if we can find a few more bass. So that sun's come right up now. We've got complete daylight and it's really very bright. Now what I'm going to do is, we're coming up to a state of the tide where it can go pretty quiet. The fishing may die off, I'm not too sure. We're just going to have to keep going and see if we can find a few. But what I'm going to do is switch up lure now. This was the 25 gram shad that I've been using, and the others I've got with me, this is literally fresh out the packet. Grant was very kind enough to send me some of these to try out. This was fresh out the packet this morning when I got out the car. I've got the other ones here with me. Now the 30 gram is the same size in length as the 25 gram, whereas the 15 and the 20 gram are slightly smaller, and they're actually very small lures. I'm going to go with the 20 gram. Which is obviously only 5 gram difference to the one I've been using. However, I'll show you the difference in the size. Now this is the 20 gram, and it's hard to tell on camera, but you can see there it's literally, I'd say, I think it's 5-6 centimeters long. One of them 6.5 centimeters. I think that may be the bigger one, but I could be wrong on that. If you want any information on these lures, just head over to the Samson website, samsonfishing.com, and Grant's got videos on there of how to use them, and obviously all the massive bass that he catches out in Portugal. He's got videos on YouTube as well. Highly recommend going and check those out. You won't see any better bass fishing. But as I was saying, that's the 25 gram that I was using. And I'm going to downsize by 5 grams, but to a smaller profile, and we'll see if we can pick up a bass or two on that. Now, even though it's still early, I've got plenty of time before I got to get to work. If the fishing does die off over the next half an hour, I'll probably knock it on the head and come back another time. So to give you a bit of a better size comparison, the top lure here is the 25 gram I was just using, and then that bottom one there is the 20, which I'm about to throw out and hopefully find a fish on. Still cast a fair distance, so it's only a small lure. Certainly flies out there, so we'll give it maybe 10 or 15 casts, I reckon. See if we can maybe connect to another fish. That sun is so bright now. Put the shades on, but it's not making too much difference at the moment, the way the angle of the sun. Well, I'll tell you what, when you get them working really fast, you can really get them gliding through the water. The action on them is really good. And I highly recommend getting one and trying them out. They're definitely going to account for a lot of fish. And they're virtually indestructible, these lures. So when you're banging them off rocks, when bringing them in, they don't get damaged easily, they won't crack. Definitely a lure I'd take abroad as well. I think that shows with Grant's videos, not just for bass, but all kinds of different fish. I think that's going to be it for the morning. So that's going to do it for my session this morning. I'm going to head off now. The fishing's gone pretty quiet ever since we've come up to that certain state of tide, so yeah, I'm not going to hang around. There's going to be plenty more opportunities to come down here, fish these Samson lures and hook into a few more bass. Now all I can say is this is the first time I've used the Shad. As I said, they came yesterday, they arrived yesterday in the post, so first time out with them this morning, and yeah, I really like them. I think they're probably one of my favourite of the Samson lures. Personally, I use the Samson Bomb quite a lot, which I really like. I use the 20 gram version. I have the 30 as well, but I find for over here in Guernsey the 20 gram version is ideal. Now I'll be interested to use some of the lighter shads which I had. I just tried out the two today, the 25 gram and the 20 gram. But I'm sure you're going to get into some fish on all the varieties. The 30 grams really going to come in handy on the big heavy days when you've got a lot of swell, and you can just chuck it right out into that swell and work it however you choose to. Now, as I said, if you want to know any more info, I'm not, you know, I don't have anything to do with Samson lures whatsoever. I'm just using them, trying them out. But if you want to know any more about any of the lures, head over to samsonfishing.com. Also, check out Grant's YouTube channel. Just YouTube Grant Woodgate, and yeah, you'll come into some really good bass fishing videos. So that's going to be it for this morning. I hope you enjoyed the little video. We managed to hook into a few bass, lost one, saw a few more swells, but as that tide slackened off, the fishing slowly died. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.